The Supreme Court heard oral arguments today in the closely watched case of Espinoza versus Montana Department of Education. The court's decision is expected to have implications for school choice, religious education, and government funding. Joining us now for legal analysis of the case is Andrea Picciotti-Bayer. She is legal advisor for the Catholic Association. Andrea, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Tracy, thank you so much for the invitation.
Absolutely. Can you start off by giving us a little bit of background on this case?
Well, it's a really exciting case. It involves an initiative that started in 2015 in the state of Montana, offering a scholarship program for private schools. And as the program was implemented, the Department of Revenue thought that religious schools had to be excluded from the program because of the state's constitution. The Supreme Court of Montana looked at the case, invalidated the entire program, and now the case is before the Supreme Court. And two single moms and one mom from Montana are questioning whether excluding religious schools from a scholarship program is a violation of their rights under the Constitution.
What are the implications here for the use of public money to pay for religious schooling?
Well, it's easy to kind of take this case and blow it out of proportion. The first thing is to focus on what this case is. It's an incentive case. They're giving a tax credit of up to $150 a year. For donations made to private school scholarship funds. Incidentally, the law also gives the same tax credit to people making donations to their public schools. So I really think about this case and this law about being pro-education.
What's the significance when it comes to religious freedom in regards to this case?
Well, it really does kind of come to our founding principles, our first freedom, which is free exercise of religion. Here, these parents were being told in Montana, you can access scholarships, but you can't do that if you're going to a religious school. And that really interferes with how we play out and live our faith and how we form our children.
Do you think this is a civil rights issue?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that this is at the core of what our founding fathers were trying to do is allow our freedom. And religious freedom is our civil right. It's one of the rights specifically mentioned in the Constitution. And it also, if we're excluding religious schools from these kinds of programs, it has a disproportionate effect on racial minorities as well.
How did the justices respond today?
It was a super intense argument. I was there and I found it incredibly entertaining. 8 out of the 9 justices were asking questions. The lawyers did a fantastic job on both sides of the aisle, including from the Solicitor General's office. But you could really see they're dealing with a lot of issues. They're trying not to go down the rabbit hole of exaggerating this case beyond what it's really about. And I think in the end, religious freedom is going to win.
Great. And we know the decision really isn't expected for a few more months, probably until June.
You know, the court could issue an opinion earlier, but in cases of such national significance as this one, it's likely to come at the end of the term, which is in June.
Okay, great. And we know that you're discussing this issue and many more like this on your upcoming show, radio show, Conversations with Consequences. That is airing on EWTN Radio on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern starting February 1st.
We're super excited.
We're excited too. And stay tuned
you.
for more information. Andrea Picciotti-Bayer, thank you so much for joining us.
Tracy, thank you so much.